Chris Blair, General Manager at Gateway Raceway, we returned to after a long absence. What everybody's been concerned about was after the test, it's cutting tires. Now, the IndyCars, to be fair, were the only group that cut tires, but for whatever reason they did. Yeah. So you guys went to the bank and you're repaving. Has this thing started already?
It's already started. We're taking the paving process through 2 steps. So last night at 5:30 we finished phase 1, which was getting the initial layer down. We're going back this week. We're doing a whole lot of pressure testing, core drilling, making sure that everything went down absolutely perfect. We don't want any mistakes, anything being rushed. So they're going through, checking the sub layers, and you've got all these technical terms for asphalt. I'm a racetrack operator, not an asphalt guy, but they're going through doing all the tests, getting everything finished up. They're going to go back and do a final application at the very end with the final grade. The track's going to be done in another 3 days of paving work. Then we're going to hop on it with all our other equipment and get it in condition for the test on August the 3rd.
How do you prevent weepers, for example? That's been a bit bugaboo for ovals for the last 2 decades.
Well, that's one of the things. I'm also getting educated on drainage, and the key with the whole problem with the weepers that we had was the initial construction design. They built a lot of drainage tiles, but the drainage tiles would dead into places where the water really didn't have anywhere to go. So one of the things we're doing through this whole process is going through, we're finding exactly where the drainage is supposed to go, digging new holes, connecting the drainage. We've had some that as soon as we would pop it open, water starts gushing out. So we found the source of a lot of the problems. So we went back through, and when we did the initial mill of the racetrack, we pulled out some of the old tiles, put new tiles in, did all that. So we're trying to do this right this time, because I think when this track was originally built, it may have been rushed a little bit. This time we're making sure it's done right, and we're starting to see some results from that. We actually did some testing the other day. We had some rain coming in. We checked all those areas to make sure that what we've already done, the drainage is working. So we're seeing some good results so far with this.
I think it says a lot to the IndyCar fans that your commitment to make this thing work when you step up and spend this kind of money, because it's not cheap.
Well, I hope the IndyCar fans appreciate it, because all the guys who run the truck series have been roasting me the last couple of days because they had a fantastic race a couple weeks ago, and they think we're nuts because we're paving the racetrack. And when you see how much it cost, a lot of people think we're nuts because we're paving the racetrack. But it's one of those things, we knew it needed to be done eventually. The surface is 20 years old. At some point it had to be done, and we're aggressively working on additional racing. We're trying to get other series in there, and in order to do that we need to show that we're serious. It's a long-term commitment. We're going to make whatever it takes to deliver the best product, not only to the fans but to the racers. The last thing we wanted to do is have any kind of a situation where we got in there, we have a packed house, and they don't get to see a great show. So now we're delivering everything that we can possibly do to make sure there's a great race. Now we just got to hope that all the other factors, whether it be the cars, the tires, the drivers, help us get that show that we're looking for.
We were talking off camera. I watched the truck race the other night, and I was blown away by how good the crowd looked. And because the trucks have been having trouble drawing, does this bode well for the IndyCar race? And how tough is it to come back after all those years away?
It's difficult, but what you have to do is just take a different approach to the way you sell. And with our truck race, we were very aggressive in going after the short track racing community. Christopher Bell worked with me on a promotion where we tied in a promotion around people who were organ donors with Brian Clausen, just to try to get back to the grassroots. We started reaching out to a lot of people who have never really been engaged with our racetrack. We did a lot with the Air Force Base, and the results show we had a great crowd. We worked really, really hard to do it. So we're doing that, and we're doing it even harder with our IndyCar race. One of the great things about our IndyCar race, they have a sponsor who's here today who's leading the news crew around because he's committed that he wants to fill the grandstands. And the Bommarito Automotive Group, they're the biggest advertiser in all of St. Louis. They're converting all their media for 6 weeks leading up to the race to push the race. And they've already been promoting for a month and a half that if you buy a new car, you get 2 free tickets to the race. So that's been planting that seed. So right now, the ticket sales are really, really good. I'm very happy with it. If it follows along the trend that we see, like with our NHRA race, we're going to be in very good shape on race day.
All right, it's a 3-hour drive from Indy, right? 3 hours at most?
3 hours. It's at night. It's going to be absolutely perfect. You got a new racetrack, a new, brand new surface, new promoters. Everything's new. Come see it.
All right. We appreciate your time, Chris, and good luck in August. IndyCar's return to Gateway.